If you're over 60 and you want to get stronger, then resistance bands make it easy. They are safe, simple to use, and you don't even need a gym. And today, I'm going to be your personal trainer. I'm going to share with you 5 simple band moves that make your whole body strong in about 30 minutes, about 3 times per week, all right? They can be done even if you have pain in your knees, your shoulders, your back, you name it, you can still do it. But here's one big problem. Most people over 60 make a massive mistake when it comes to strength training, and it actually slows them down. And I'm going to share that secret at the end, so make sure you stick around to get that. I'm Gavin. I co-own New Zealand's only fitness studio for people over the age of 40, and I've currently helped over 1,000 people just like you get strong and healthy using things like resistance bands so that you can start to feel 10 years younger. Now, there are 2 types of bands that we could use. You could use looped bands like this, okay? Or you could use bands with handles. And I'm gonna try and show you the equivalent exercises and uses for both as we go through this whole process, all right? So let's jump into the first exercise and we get this done. So the first exercise we got is a banded squat. This adds resistance to that, okay? So if you're somebody that can get out of a chair like this relatively easily, then adding a band is gonna make that exercise a little bit more challenging, and again, is gonna build up your leg strength a little bit more than it is right now. So the way to do it is stand on the band this way, all right? And you're gonna lean forward on the chair and you're gonna bring the handles up close to your shoulders. And as you do this, you want to keep your knees pushed out, okay, so they're not going to cave in. And as you stand, you'll feel it's getting hard as you get up off the chair. Slowly take it back down, keeping your core nice and strong. Sit back down and stand back up again. Slowly take it back down and stand back up. If you can't quite do this from a low chair, you could turn the chair on its side or use a higher sort of platform, okay? As you stand up, you can do exactly the same thing. So you may find if you've got sore knees from a low seated position, this may not give you any pain whatsoever. And it's a really nice way to modify the exercise to get the most from it. So if you're using a looped band, okay, a loop band right here, and if you are interested in getting some of these loop bands, okay, I've partnered with a company called Clench Fitness. There's a link down below and you can get 10% off these bands, certainly for US based anyway. They specialize in these power bands, right? But otherwise, if you've got some, you can Google it and you can get them anywhere you want. So again, same kind of thing. You got the loop band, you stick it under your feet this way and you just do the same thing. So you hold it out, get your elbows into it, and it does exactly the same thing. Sit back down. And you can see you can use both bands for exactly the same exercise. All right, so the next exercise we got is something called a high row, okay? It's gonna work on the major muscles at the back. A lot of us sit down too much and our posture is pretty bad. So this is gonna help us do that by building a strong back at the same time. So I'm using a post or a pillar, okay? You can use a door anchor as well, which I've done in other videos. So you can, maybe I'll link that video to the end that shows you the door anchor. But a door anchor simply is where you thread the bands through, you stick it between a door frame, and you can do that, okay? So I'm not gonna explain that just right this minute, but we're gonna use a post today. So I want you to take a big step back, have a nice staggered stance. That's really important so the band doesn't pull you off your feet. Because if I'm in here and I start pulling, then I can just pull myself off, all right? So a nice balanced staggered stance. This band is about parallel with the floor, or I'm in a straight line between my shoulders and my knuckles, right? I want to bring my elbows back nice and high this way. Pause and slowly take it forward. You can hit those major muscles in the top of your back. Hold it again and bring it forward. You can notice that my form and control of these bands is slow. I'm not pushing too fast or pulling too fast. It's a big slow contraction and let it go forward. And what you find at the peak end of the bands, it gets harder. So that's why you have to fight for it. It's usually a little bit easier in this range there, okay? So pull back, 12 to 15 reps. If you're using a looped band like this one, very, very same thing. You can just loop it around or use a door anchor, okay? And you can use your hands this way and pull it back again in the same kind of way. Okay, so before I jump into the next exercise, if you would like a full workout just using bands, predominantly the bands with the handles, there's a link in the first comment, okay? And it'll take you to a PDF of a full workout using bands that you can follow at your own pace. It's been downloaded hundreds of times with some amazing feedback. So go and grab that by visiting the link in the description. The next exercise we're gonna do is a pull apart. Another great postural exercise that we have. So I'm going to use, and it'll be exactly the same whether you use the orange band or the band with handles. But all you're going to do, you're going to grab the band about shoulder width. Okay, I want you to create a little bit of tension. So when you start, there's already tension on the band, and you're going to pull it across your body that way. It's going to hit the little muscles up in the shoulders and the upper back a little bit to create that postural stability. And you can see it's actually quite challenging. So from behind, I'm trying to pull it across my body that way, get those upper shoulders working. And again, if the two folded bands are too hard, you could drop one and you can make it a little bit easier that way as you do it, okay? So there's lots of ways to do it. Make it harder with two, make it easier with one. The next exercise we've got is a crossbody press, and it's gonna work on the chest and the tricep as we go. So you can wrap it around this way, okay? And what I like to do then is just feed the bands into each other's handles that way. And what it does, it creates a bit of a lock that you can do it, right? So what I'm gonna do then, I'm gonna stand in a staggered way. So I'm gonna drop that leg back, and you can see the band is on a nice sort of nice angle with my wrist this way. And what this is designed to do is take my pec muscle, which is in a stretched position there, and put it across my body to get a maximum contraction across my chest, okay? So really it makes the muscle nice and tight. Slowly take it back down and then pull it forward. Now, traditionally, when you're using dumbbells and stuff, and your dumbbells are right back here, all the weight is on there, and it can put a lot of strain on the muscles. But because at this point, it's actually not too much on there, it starts to get hard there, which is what we want. So you get a nice stretch in the muscle, which is moderate, and a nice squeeze at the top to get maximum contraction and maximum effort. Again, slow and controlled. A couple of seconds back, 1 second out, okay? The whole rep should take about 4 to 5 seconds, which is perfect for what we need to do there. Once you're finished, obviously you would swap sides. Again, what you would do, use a door anchor, or you can loop this together. You just loop it around, pull it forward, and you can see it's the same movement. I just haven't got the handles on it, okay? Which is great that way. Now the next exercise we've got is something called a Paloff press, an amazing core exercise. Anti-rotation, gets all the muscles fired up together. Brilliant. And again, I'm going to just use this loop band because it's set up. You could do the same thing down below. But what you're going to do, you're going to have it attached to something like this again, and just take it to it's just tight, not super stretched, but just taut that way. I've got a nice solid stance with my feet are under my hips this way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my arms forward in a nice straight line. Notice that I'm not wobbling with it. Okay, and as I push out that way, the band wants to pull me back, and it's me resisting that rotation is going to get the core work done. And again, nice, slow and controlled. If it becomes too hard, take a little step inwards to make it a little bit easier, but you got the room to move with this one. Again, 12 to 15 reps. The last couple need to be challenging. Nice, slow and controlled. It's going to give the best workout that you can possibly get. So there were 5 amazing exercises just using resistance bands. You can see how diverse they are and how incredible they can be, certainly if you're not somebody that wants to lift heavy weights. Now, the big mistake that I promised you that most people make is that they do everything too fast. They're pushing really fast, trying everything, squatting really fast, whatever. And what that means is that your form is compromised, you're bouncing around, your tendons and ligaments take a big hit when you do it, and we want to actually strengthen the muscles. And when you slow the exercise down, the muscles do far more work. It's a concept called time under tension, and we want to be chasing the tension of the muscles so that we can get the most benefit from it. And as we get older, as we get above 50, 60 and whatnot, it's going to be important to have more quality than it is quantity. So you need to make sure that those reps are controlled. And again, what I like to do is a 12 to 15 rep range with about 4 to 5 seconds rep. So you can push out for 1 second, 1, 2, 3, 4, and push again. So the whole thing becomes maybe 4 to 5 seconds. And again, if you did that 12 to 15 reps, it's going to take you about 40 odd seconds to do that, depending on what you're doing. And that's a perfect and sweet spot for us to get the best effective reps, which would mean the effective rep just means that it's the reps that's making the most difference to our muscles, all right? So that's the biggest mistake people have. I'm going to leave a video in the top left-hand corner which explains that concept a little bit more. So head over there. I will see you on the next video.